Problem number 4. 3 times negative 2 over 3 plus 4 over 9. Going by order of operations, we need to solve what's in the parentheses first. And since we're adding fractions, we're going to need a common denominator. 3 is a factor of 9, so 9 is going to be your common denominator. Since 3 times 3 is 9, we're just going to multiply 3 over 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. And this is a negative 2/3, so carry that negative sign down. Negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2, and that's over 9. This is the same as 3 over 1, so 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. 1 times 9 is 9. You're left with negative 6 over 9. Now you can further reduce this answer since 3 will go into both 6 and 9, so divide by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And keep your negative sign over here. So your answer is negative 2/3. Problem 5, 7 times negative 4 plus 3 times 11 minus 15 over negative 2. Remember your order of operations, so anything in parentheses comes first. 11 minus 15 is going to be negative 4. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. These negatives are going to cancel each other out to give you a positive. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So 7 times negative 4 is negative 28. You're just carrying that down. Negative 28 plus, because you're adding, so just bring the addition sign down. Negative 28 plus 6 is negative 22. Problem 6, 9 times 5 minus 2 times 1 plus 4. You're just going to start working from the innermost parentheses out. So your innermost parentheses would be right here, this 1 plus 4, which is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Just carry the 5 minus down, so 5 minus 10 times 9. 5 minus 10 is negative 5. 9 times negative 5 is negative 45. Problem 16, 8x minus 13 equals 11 plus 5x. You're going to want to have your x's on the same side of the equation. My first step would be subtract 5x from each side, which gives you 8x minus 5x minus 13 equals 11. 8x minus 5x is 3x minus 13 equals 11. Now add 13 to each side. That 13. 11 plus 13 is 24. Divide by 3. 24 divided by 3 is 8. Problem 17, 1 over 3x plus 1 over 2x plus 6 equals 11. Your x's are already on the same side of the equation. What I would do first is subtract 6 from each side. 11 minus 6 is 5. Now we're adding fractions, so we have to have a common denominator. So to get that, 2 over 2 multiply that by the 1 over 3, and then take 3 over 3 times 1 over 2. So 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6, 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 3 is 6. So now we've got our common denominator, we can add our coefficients of x. 2 plus 3 is 5. To solve for x, I'm going to multiply the reciprocal of 5 over 6 to each side. The reciprocal will be 6 over 5, and that gets multiplied by each side. This will all cancel out, leaving you with x. This is the same as 5 over 1. So your 5's cancel out, leaving you with 6. X equals 6. Problem 18, 7x minus 9 equals 2x. First, you're going to want to get your x's on the same side of the equal sign. I'm going to subtract 7x from each side. It'd be 9x. 2 minus 7 is negative 5. Now I'm going to divide by negative 5. Negatives cancel out to become a positive. 9 over 5 equals x. Problem 19, 5 times y minus 3 equals 2 times y plus 12. Before you can get your y's on the same side of the equation, you're going to have to get rid of the parentheses. So 5 times y is 5y. 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times y is 2y. 2 times 12 is 24. Now we can go ahead and get our y's on the same side. Subtract 2y from each side. Five y minus 2y is 3y. Now I'm going to add 15 to each side. 24 plus 15 is 39. Divide each side by 3. 39 divided by 3 is 13, so y equals 13. Problem 20, 7 over 8x equals 1 over 2. This is actually pretty easy. I'm just going to take the reciprocal of 7 over 8, which is 8 over 7. Multiply that by each side, so x equals 1 times 8 is 8. 2 times 7 is 14. Since these are even numbers, you know each of them is at least divisible by 2, so let's further reduce it by dividing by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 14 divided by 2 is 7. X equals 4/7. Problem 21, 7x plus 5 plus 1 minus 3x equals 4x plus 6. I'm just simply going to combine everything. 7x minus 3x will be 4x. 5 plus 1 is 6. So you have 4x plus 6 equals 4x plus 6. This is always going to be true. So this is an identity problem. Problem 22. 2x minus 11 times x minus 4 plus 3 equals 77. Start working from the innermost to the outermost. So I'm going to take 11 times each number in here. So 11 times x is 11x. 11 times 4 is 44. And I'm using a subtraction sign since that's what I have here. Plus 3. So this is what's in your bracket. There's no number in front of the bracket and you have a subtraction sign, so that's the same as saying -1 times everything in this bracket. Let's go ahead and multiply -1 times everything in here. So -1 times 11x will be -11x. -1 times -44 is going to be 44. -1 times 3 is -3. Let's just carry these down. This is the equation we're solving for. 2x minus 11x will be -9x. 44 minus 3 is 41. Now I'm going to subtract 41 from each side. 77 minus 41 is 36. Divide each side by -9. 36 divided by -9 is -4. Problem 23, 18 minus 8x equals 7x minus 12. I'm going to want the x's on the same side of my equation, so I'll add 8x to each side. Seven x plus 8x is 15x. Now add 12 to each side. 12 plus 18 is 30. Divide each side by 15. 30 divided by 15 is 2. So x equals 2. Problem 24, -1 over 4x minus 4 plus 3 over 4x equals 1 over 2x plus 1. We're going to go ahead and combine the coefficients of x. Luckily they have the same common denominator of 4, so we can just go ahead and add -1 plus 3 will be 2 over 4. You know that 2 over 4 is 1/2 because you can divide each by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. I forgot to carry the x. So it's 1/2 x minus 4 equals 1/2 x plus 1. Now looking at the equation, you know that this is a false equation. It's not true because you have 1/2 x minus 4 on one side and 1/2 x plus 1 on the other side. So that's a false equation. That's never going to be true. Alright, problem 25. Chef Charles has already broken 14 eggs and he's breaking eggs at a rate of 12 per minute. Chef Louis has already broken 22 eggs and he's breaking eggs at a rate of 10 per minute. How many minutes will it take for Charles to have broken as many eggs as Louis? And then we have a fun little picture. Let's set up the problem. It's telling us Charles has already broken 14 eggs and he's breaking them at 12 eggs a minute, so 12x. Chef Louis has already broken 22 eggs and he's continuing to break eggs at a rate of 10 eggs a minute. So x in this problem is going to be the number of minutes, and we want to know how long it will take them to break the same amount of eggs. The rate of Charles will have to equal the rate of Louis. 14 plus 12x equals 22 plus 10x. You're just setting up the equation so that the rate of Charles is going to equal the rate of Louis. I'm going to start by subtracting 14 from each side. 22 minus 14 is 8. Now I'll subtract 10 from each side. I'm sorry, 10x from each side to get my x's on the same side. 12 minus 10 is 2x. I'm going to divide by 2. X equals 4 minutes. So it'll take 4 minutes for them to break the same amount of eggs.